Hey guys, welcome back for this week's episode of Studio Creative Kids. Today we're going to do like a spring themed flower vase. It's going to be so much fun. If you're a teacher using this prompt, this is a great time to use some of your scrap pieces of paper for the use of flowers and such. So this is what we're going to use today. We need some pastels. You can use color pencils, paints, whatever you have at home. We've got our Sharpie, our pen, our pencil, eraser. We've got some little pieces of green paper that we're going to use for our flower stems, scissors, Elmer's glue. I have a little circle here to trace. If you have a cup at home, you can use that. Anything that's a little circle. And then I have an 11 by 14 piece of paper. I have a little scrap piece of paper and an 8.5 by 11 that we're going to use to draw our vase with. All right, you guys, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to move this stuff aside, and what we're going to do, I've already done this on here. So on your big piece of paper, you're just going to do a curved line at the bottom. So if you're painting this, this is going to be, the underneath part is going to be your table. The upper part is going to be your background. You can make that look however you want to. We'll do that in a second. But first, we're going to take the 8.5 by 11 sheet and we are going to draw our vase in. All right, you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this simple. We're going to kind of make a short, chubby vase. What we're going to do is a little bit over halfway, we're just going to do a line all the way across. Then we're going to go down, across, and just trace out a big square. What I want to do with this vase is I want to keep it black and white. I want the color to be in the background and I want the color to be on the flowers. So what we're going to do is draw lines across and make stripes. And then we'll go back in. You can do this with a big Sharpie or you can do this with your color pencils, paints, whatever you're using. And we're just going to go every other stripe and we're going to color that in. Super simple. All right, just like that, our vase is already done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out across the bottom. All right, and I'm going to give you a little perspective of our vase on this page. That's how it's going to look. And I think we'll use our little glue dot fasteners to make it pop off the page a little bit. Okay, so for right now, we're going to set that aside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pastels to do the color on my table and my background. So I'm just going to do a brown color here for my table. Pastels are so much fun because you can just do a little part of the color across the page and just use your finger to blend in. So you really don't have to use very much color when it comes to these. So for the top piece, what I want to do is just do a soft color. You can decide how bold or how soft you want to go in your design. Just keeping this super simple. Okay, really quickly, I went and grabbed my hairspray because if you remember from one of the previous episodes, what we can do once you get your background piece done, you can use the hairspray to spray it And that just kind of holds that pastel color in. So what we'll do is we'll spray that and set it aside so that we can work on our flowers. But I also got fastener dots because what I want to do is use these fastener dots, and you can get these at the dollar store, because we are gonna use those to make this vase pop off the page. So I'm just gonna put one on every corner. I want to leave the middle part open so that we can do the flower stems in the middle when we're ready for that part. Okay, so I'm going to leave that set aside while we take our other scrap sheet of paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our little round circle and we're going to trace the middles of our flowers. So we want to leave room on the side for our petals. So I'm just going to do 3 circles. In each one, I'll do a different type of petal. So on this one, I'm going to do kind of like a wide U shape all the way around it. Just like that. On this one, I want to do a tall U shape all the way around my flowers. We fixed that one. Okay, and on this last one, maybe we'll just do 4 giant petals on this one. Let's make this one a little bit shorter since they're touching. From there, once you get your flowers like you want them, what we can do is take our Sharpie and we're just going to trace out our flowers. Okay, once you get your flowers drawn, you can add designs on the inside if you want to. Don't worry about if you didn't trace them perfectly. We can always go back and erase those lines where our pencil marks still show. All right, and so for this one, maybe I'll just do a big swirl on the inside. All right, now we can go back and erase our pencil lines. Okay, so now that we have that done, what we can do is now we'll go and we'll color our flowers in. All right, you guys. Now that we have all of these colored, what we're gonna do, whoops, is we're gonna spray with our hairspray again. See how those colors just popped out with that? So we're gonna let these dry. While these are drying, we're gonna grab our paper here. Let's see. we're gonna take our vase and we're just gonna pop this on the page. Let's fold this back a little. Whoop. I'm just gonna fold that back just a little bit. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we need our glue. And I'll do 2 of the darker stems and 1 of the lighter. We don't need these whole pieces, so I'm just gonna trim them just a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna take the glue and we're gonna go all along the stem for this first one, and we're just gonna slide it back there just like that. We're gonna do the same thing with the others. Just like that. You can even use your scrap pieces and fold them over, and we can just make little leaves that stick up. So I'm just kind of folding them in a little V shape. Like that. Just like this. And you can honestly do that as many times as you want to. And we are almost done. Okay. One right here. Okay. While we're waiting for our flowers to dry, what we can do, because we don't want to forget this, is to sign our name. On our piece of art. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my flowers and then we'll attach those in just a second. Remember, when you're cutting too, you don't have to cut directly on the line. And I'm going to show you what I do. When I cut, I'm going to go all the way to the middle of the flower, because I'll show you what we're going to do with these petals once I have it cut. That took a long time. Okay, so now that we have our flowers done, and the reason why we're cutting all the way to the circle is because we can just kind of bend our flowers up to give them more of a 3D look. Just gonna bend them just a little bit. Also, if you have extra supplies like in your classroom or your art studio or at home, you can use buttons, bottle caps, different things to like glue to these to set them off the page. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our glue and just in the middle, we're gonna place our first flower on there. We're gonna put our second one. And then our third. And what I'm going to do is take some of these little leaves, and I'm just going to do one or two just kind of poking out the bottom to give it just another little element of texture. Okay. Do maybe two more. One here and one on the other side. This would be a great art tutorial too, to use like closer to Mother's Day or things like that. All right, you guys, here it is, sticky hands and all. This is our beautiful spring flower arrangement. Isn't that so cute? It's easy to keep it simple. You don't have to do too many designs, but you also can make it as full of designs and as colorful as you want to. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Studio Creative Kids. I'll see you on the next one.